The British government's admitted that its military is helping choose targets for the Saudi-led coalition's airstrikes in Yemen.
We do have a military presence in Saudi Arabia, and we are working with the Saudi Arabians to ensure the following of correct procedures to avoid breaches of international humanitarian law.
The revelations raise questions over the UK's involvement then in collateral damage inflicted by the Saudi-led bombing of Yemen. Let's get across this. Go to our correspondent in London, Laura Smith's there. Hi, Laura. Foreign Secretary Philip Hammond has also been saying that a quick check didn't uncover any deliberate, as he put it, breaches of humanitarian law in Yemen involving British forces. But very cautious rhetoric there.
Very cautious and quite extraordinary language. As you say, when he's talking about it, he says that the government or that the forces there have been doing a quick check when humanitarian law breaches have been reported to them, and that so far they've uncovered no deliberate violations. So very careful language surrounding what is, as we know, an incredibly bloody civil war. Since March, 6,000 people have been killed in Yemen, and half of them have been civilians. And not all in airstrikes, and certainly not all by the Saudi Arabian-led coalition, but a lot of collateral damage there. And there have been a few short ceasefires, but mostly on most days during that period, dozens of airstrikes have been carried out by the coalition. And now we know that the UK has been helping to choose these targets that the Saudis are aiming for, ensuring, as you say, that they're correctly identified and that only legitimate military targets are struck. And yet, during this campaign, we've had reports from human rights groups and witnesses on the ground that schools, factories, residential areas and even hospitals have been blown up, some without doubt by these Saudi-led airstrikes. So that's an awful lot of mistakes. And just to give you two specific examples, two Médecins Sans Frontières facilities have been hit, reportedly by the Saudis. The MSF director says that they give the coordinates of their facilities to everybody who's fighting in Yemen, so there's no way that forces there couldn't have known that these were hospitals.
And Laura, talking of connections, this revelation coming just days, of course, after the UK was threatened with legal action over its multi-billion-dollar arms sales to Saudi Arabia.
That's right. Of course, while all this is going on, the UK continues to sell arms to Saudi Arabia. The pressure on the government is mounting, though. The campaign against the arms trade claims that the Saudi-led coalition has used British weapons to kill civilians in Yemen. And in a letter, they have given the government 14 days to suspend those licences to export arms to Saudi Arabia and review them according to the government's own policy for issuing them. Otherwise, they say they'll take the government to the High Court. And there, it will have to explain how it's making sure that UK weapons aren't being used to kill civilians in Yemen. That's obviously something the government won't want to do, but selling arms to Saudi Arabia is a hard habit to break. $8.7 billion worth of weapons have been licensed to Saudi during Cameron's term in office.
Laura Smith in London, thank you.